Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Dolis and welcome back to Stoneblock 2. In the last episode, we were working on Thaumcraft up here in our new Thaumcraft area, which is not decorated yet. We will be decorating Stoneblock at some point. All these rooms are going to be nice and neat and orderly, but right now, these stairs are even temporary. I don't know how much room for Thaumcraft we're going to need, and same with Botania. Botania will kind of decorate later, but I do have some blocks together for decorating the farm. I just don't have the time today to start working on that. I still haven't even finished the dirt yet. So I did do a little bit of cleaning out of this stuff. A lot of this is temporary kind of just setups just to get resources out. We'll set up automated like ways of getting the loot crate openers later if we so choose. A lot of this stuff we don't really care about. Some of it's nice. We get a lot of like what are they called? Z-Logic. These things, yeah, Z-Logic controllers. We get a lot of those, which is really nice because they're a pain to make, but they're not that bad, but they're annoying enough. But we get like a lot of lava buckets and air charms and a lot of armor pieces that I just don't care about. One of these days, we have a lot of emerald armor, and something that we can do is we can smelt it into emeralds, and then we can use those emeralds for, you know, other things. The problem is it needs a hotter burning smeltery, so we'd have to have some blazing pyrotheum to do that, and I don't currently have that. So we'll get to the point, we'll get things kind of organized, and a lot of times this series in particular always feels like there's so much left to do. There's so many like unfinished projects, and to an extent there is, but we're pretty good right now in terms of just kind of, we got to get stuff done, and I need to find time to work on a lot of the building things, but all that aside, today what we're going to do is we're going to continue on with Thaumcraft. I want to get more work done with that. Specifically, I want to kind of work towards getting all of the alchemy stuff done, and have a nice alchemy system set up. But before we do that, there's also a couple things that we're going to need to get a hold of. One thing I should note, last episode we made this thing, the Essentia smeltery, which is awesome, and I completely forgot how that worked. And that's a very old block from Thaumcraft. So I've used it many a times in a different, you know, texture, but yeah, I know how it works, and I forgot. So we need to have an arcane alembic with it, and that is kind of the key. We can put multiple alembics on top. Usually you can get away with like 2 or 3. And so that's what we're probably going to do, is just make like 3. And we can have multiple furnaces at some point. A lot of that kind of stuff I'm not too worried about now. But we're going to need to get some silverwood to make the arcane alembic, because it requires Essentia filters, which require silverwood planks, and it also requires greatwood planks, which means we need to get greatwood. To get those, we need to do some sifting, and to make that easier, we're going to enchant. So I noticed that this had Sieve Fortune 3. I tried to say efficiency. I'm hoping it has efficiency on it too, but it does. That is really good. Note to self, make string to get good enchants. But we're going to do some sifting to get those trees, and then we're going to make some hopping bonsais, oops, to kind of take care of that. So what exactly do we need to sift? Well, that's where things get gross. We need to make some compressed flesh blocks, which is just zombie flesh and leather. And let's make like apparently 2. I don't have that much leather. Right, so how can we get leather easily? Well, there's cow essences. We could also kill cows. We could dry stuff. I know we can atomic reconstructor. That's probably what we'll do. Sawmill leather armor? Huh. Is it just leather armor? And saddles. You know, that one might be doable. Let's see. I don't remember if we made a sawmill. I don't think we did. Sawmill, no. So let's see if we can get some leather. Getting distracted. There is also loot crates, obviously, will give us that. Chickens, leather chickens, crushers. The Crucible would give us leather as well. We could kill things, ground traps, drying basins, which these are not too terrible to make, but they do require, actually they don't require any of the wood. I guess what we can do is just make a sawmill. That shouldn't be too difficult. And we should have... We don't have any leather armor, but we should have some saddle. We have a saddle. Is it even worth it if we... Oh, we have 11 saddles in here, so I think we can do that. So let's make a sawmill. Really quick. And it shouldn't be too difficult. We need... machine frames, so we're going to need 10 gear. I think we need 3 of these because we're also going to need copper gears. 10 gear, machine frame, redstone reception coil, and the main thing, a saw blade, which is just iron and copper. Easy, easy, easy. Do we have any conversion kits? We can get it to reinforce. That's good enough. Oh, and then I need a conduit because I don't have any on me. My saddles just went down there. Okay, that's fine. So we could just hook up a sawmill right here. Throw a conduit on it. Turn the configuration off. Upgrade it because we can. And get to sawing. And get some leather. Perfect. So, you know, if that's how we get leather for now, that will work just fine. Secret with this, in modded Minecraft, you can make leather easily because you can make leather armor easily because you can use cotton, which is just string. So it's 2 string, but you can make leather armor fairly easily. So that is something that, worst case scenario, we have a string farm. So let's make a couple more of these compressed flesh blocks. Let's start with 8 and see if we can get both of the things we need. So sanitizing soap, I don't think that's too useful to us. It's all, no, the saplings are 5% chances. Everything else is a 10% chance. So hopefully we can get it. And so that was the toxic mushroom. I think we just got the silverwood sapling. And a great wood. Cool. We got all the things we needed. Let's really quickly scan these things, because these are important. And now we're going to want to make some, well, hopping bonsai planters. So we're going to make 2 of these, 1 for each. We can get 2 hoppers. And then we can just make those, get a couple of chests, and I think we'll need dirt, but that is not a problem. And once we have all this, we can start growing greatwood trees and silverwood saplings. Perfect. Alright, I think I've gotten all that stuff taken care of. Now, so we have the silverwood and the greatwood saplings. I do want to see real quick. Shimmerleaf is going to be important to have. We can use a phytogenic isolator to get more, but that's not super useful. There is a quicksilver seed, and that might be something we'll need later, but for now, we'll be okay. So these will grow slowly but surely. And what we can do now is kind of work on other things. So one thing we need from our Thaumanomicon is magic tallow. So this stuff is pretty easy to get. It is just a little bit of fire and rotten flesh. So we're just going to make one. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to put water in there. I have ignis crystals, which is it's fire. Once this starts boiling, we throw this in here. And then right click with our rotten flesh and we get the magic tallow. Scan it, get some research. One thing that's important to note, well, not important to note, one thing to note, I grabbed some diamond armor from the loot crates, and that's what I'm using currently. So we have some greatwood logs. We do not quite have silverwood. Silverwood takes a little bit longer to grow, but we have the magic tallow, and that should give us more completion with the research. We need gunpowder, and so some substances are simple enough that just adding more of the same essentia creates more. So basically what this is telling us that we can make, so we can make leather with rotten flesh. We saw that. But we can also make gunpowder by just putting the elements that make gunpowder, and it duplicates. It's just duplication for things that are kind of annoying to get in vanilla. So we need gunpowder. So items that need to be crafted. We need to craft gunpowder and glowstone. So, gunpowder. I mean, we could just do the alchemy stuff, or we could just craft it another way. We could crush flint. Would that work? I don't know. So we have sulfur. We could get charcoal. Niter? Can we get niter easily? I don't think so. Blitz rods, which I don't think we have. We could crush gunpowder. Let's do that. I want to avoid difficult crafting, and then we also need to do glowstone, dust, which we can do this. So let's just make sure that it works. If it's there, I should be able to just do one of these. And yeah, we have technically crafted glowstone. So we can just go crush some gunpowder into niter and not have to worry about it. So crusher. That should automatically go into the system. So we can go back upstairs and do what we want. So I just want to try to get the research done. That is kind of the big thing. We have some wood. I don't think it's a guarantee. Yeah, it's a 75% chance to get silverwood logs, which is kind of a bummer. But can we make gunpowder? I mean, I guess we could just do one, but there we go, gunpowder. And that should be this completed. You're technically supposed to make it with the stuff. With a bit of luck, I can manufacture a few relatively common but annoying materials. So Okay. String into cobweb. So I need to make string, lava, and cobwebs. Alright, let's see if we can cheese this and not actually use Thaumcraft. So string. We can make string with string. That works. And then I know Crucible, cobweb, mana infused string. Okay, it might just be easier to do it the way it's intended for this one. So we need... Soul Sand has a little bit. And it looks like anything that has... It's gonna be the best way. Fence gates would be good. That has 5. So I guess let's go with that. Let's get... Or amber. I don't have any amber. I have a fence gate though. So if we want a single piece of string with 5, we can throw that in there. And it did not give us what we wanted. Okay. So is it a particular fence I can spell? Oh, it's any but the non-oak wood fence gates. So what kind of woods do we have? We have oak wood. Of course. Let's try something else. And I cannot spell vinculum. Trap. It's trap in prison. What is something else we can do? We could do oak doors. That would be fine. So do I have any doors? I do. That one's a rotating door. That we'll just throw that away. So this has 5 of what we need. We throw it in there. And we string to get cobweb. Now we have a little bit extra stuff. And we're just going to pull out most of it. And call it a craft. Okay. So with that, we should be scanning some of the stuff. What? We just need a lava bucket. We need to craft a lava bucket. So I don't think we can just take it from the world, because I believe I've done that already. So, you know what? We'll just do this way. 15 fire. What is something good with fire? Coal, I think, is not bad. We could do 2 coal and then some dirt. Yeah. So to get a lava bucket, and then we need an empty bucket. So do that. Let's see, 5 and 15. So 2 coal, 1 dirt, and right click with the bucket. Then take out all of the remaining stuff. Cool. That works for me. Alright, so that should be that completed. And is this done yet? Alright, awesome. So there will be more alchemy type things that we can do. But for now, that's all that I care about. And that unlocks what we need, which is liquid death, which we have the theory. Oh no, what have I done? This liquid is so dangerously toxic that virtually nothing can prevent it from dissolving flesh, bone, and even harder substances. There is good uses for this, but oof, that is kind of expensive. Alright, so can I get... Actually, I have a barrel for lava buckets. Do we have another bucket? Of course we do. We have a lot of buckets. Alright, let's clean up the inventory a little bit. And now we can make liquid death. Liquid death is kind of awful to make with Thaumcraft, but I think we're going to go that path instead of just going down to my cows and grabbing liquid death from one of the cows. because it's a little bit more fair. But let's see what else we need to make. Let's see if we can get the Alembic. That is kind of the next thing, and then I can work on some other stuff with that. So the Arcane Alembic requires Greatwood planks. And to get Greatwood planks, it is just kind of your normal thing. So we're going to want, let's go with 3. Let's get maxed out. I think 3 is the max. So we're going to need 3 buckets. We're going to need 6 brass plates. So we're going to need some alchemical brass. And to get that is instrumentum with iron. If we want 6 of them, we're going to need 6 of them. It's a 1-to-1. So we just need instrumentum. And what is the best way to get that? You know, I need to like save some of these things just to make it easier. Arrows have way too much other stuff to make them useful. Crooks are really good, especially stone crooks. So I guess we could get... That is not a stone crook. Is it a cobblestone crook? It is. Okay, so this has a bunch of other stuff as well. Ugh. So obviously the more complex something is, the more like other things it has. Flint is not bad. Bronze is worse. So how much do we need for each? 5. So 6 flint. I guess that'll work. We did get a bunch of flint from the loot crates. So we'll let this boil. We'll get our quartz silver slivers, not silvers. I read that too fast and it's the wrong thing. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll just get that all filled up with Terra V crystals. And there is our brass plates. Awesome. So the only thing left to make is we're going to need 6 Essentia filters. And we are going to need some aqua crystals. So we need silverwood planks. And we're going to need 3 of those. And we're going to need 6 gold. I should probably scan the planks and everything I can. Cool, we learned something about that one. So we're going to need some water crystals, some aqua V crystals. And we'll just put those in there. So the Essentia filters. There we go. And then the Arcane Alembic. We're going to make 3 of these. Perfect. So with that, what we can do is we can place these on top. And I don't know if there's a limit anymore. Let's look real quick. So Arcane Alembic. So to work, Arcane Alembics need multiple, can be placed. So it can only be, it doesn't say, it used to be only 3 would work. And now what we need to do, so one of the things we need is we need, let's get alchema. So that is going to be gunpowder. And we're just going to get, I guess, 16. And we need some files. Glass files, which this is something that I think we want to teach the system how to make. Because we're going to be using a lot of these. So, do we know how to make glass? We're making glass, right. So we just need to teach the system how to make these glass files. And that is just kind of important for my sanity. So I guess we'll just put it in there. And we'll tell the system to make like, I don't know, 100 or so. That is probably not even going to be enough. But we definitely need a lot of these. We are missing clay. That is the other thing we need to teach the system how to do. I think we can convert, because we have 213 clay. Can we? Okay, it is a left click, not a right click. I'm not placing it, I am selecting it or using it on that slot, I guess. But what we can do is now make a lot of these files, and we can start burning components. So if we look at gunpowder, it has a little bit of alchemy, but it also has fire and perdicio. And what's going to happen is this is going to burn. I like that the tiny coal works, and it makes this like slurry, this purple stuff. The purple stuff is slowly filtered upwards. All the fire will go in there from the gunpowder, and because we have 3, it should separate them out pretty nicely. And so all the fire from this will go into this one, and I think they can store, I don't remember how much they can store in total, each one of these. But then all of the perdicio will go there, and alchemica, or whatever order, it doesn't really matter. But it is slow. It takes quite a bit of time to filter things out, and eventually it might just be a stack. Nope. Okay. Does it say in the book? If it's powered by aluminium, which we know how to make, it's kind of annoying to make right now, but this would go a lot faster. And then what we can do is we can take this glass vial and we can remove it 10 at a time, and eventually it will filter out everything, and then we have these files of Essentia, which is useful for other things, and we can do a lot of things with them, but this is kind of the basics of extracting everything from whatever items. We can extract the Essentia, we can crystallize it. They have different uses. The crystallization is almost exclusively used for the Crucible, but this stuff, and you can see we're starting to get some perdicio. I think it's done with the fire, so I'm probably gonna add more gunpowder. I'll probably do 4 more. Should probably do multiples of 10, which makes the most sense, but it's not quite perfect, and that might fill up even more. But you can see we get some perdicio as well, and we can just have all this stuff, and I think we can like empty these out with just a right click empty hand, and you can do more complex means of extracting them. Now these files can only hold 10, but we can make these things, and I think we have the recipe for it. What are they called? Are they called jars? They are called jars. Warded jars. So this is just some glass panes and some sort of wood slab with a little bit of magic. And let's go ahead and make a couple of those. So do we have some glass panes and some wood slabs? And we should be able to make some warded jars. We'll make 4 of them, why not? And let's put them right here. They make an amazing noise. And then we can fill them up with the various liquid essentias. And we get our files back, which is kind of nice. And eventually this is going to give us the alchemy stuff. And we can look at the quest real quick, because I'm not entirely sure. But for the Essentia tubes, we just need 1 of all of these. So I'm going to work on getting all of those together. But there is... Oh, wrong thing. There is the alchemia? The alchemy stuff. That's what it is. So What I'm going to do, actually, before we step away for a second, because I am going to work on a lot of this stuff, and I'm going to get stuff together for the Liquid Death. We're going to get that completed today. What we're doing with this is we need to get to the distillation stuff and Essentia transport. We just basically need to do a lot of research. So, also, there is a really cool item, this Everfull urn. Urn is an infinite water source, and I believe it will automatically fill stuff, which is really cool. But we're going to make some thaumium, and this is really easy. It is 5 magic, 5 terra, so that is a piece of dirt and something magical. What is something magical we can use? A terra steel nugget, no thank you. That is expensive, and I don't want to. So what's something... I mean, we could use mana steel. It would give us a little extra stuff, but it would work just fine. Arcane workbenches? No, that's a little bit more complex than I think I'd like. Potions are good in general. Same with books, but they're a little full of other things. And same with like golden apples. I think what we might actually do is mana steel, because we are getting that from loot crates. So maybe. I'm not seeing anything else that like stands out of, you know, simplicity. Enchanter, that is not something I want to try to distill. Enchantment table, yeah, that is a lot of stuff on that. Okay, so I think we have some mana steel. We'll have to find a better source of magic. But we get a piece of dirt. And we get a piece of iron. And I think that's what we need for this. 5 and 5, yes. So we throw these in. Right click and we get some thaumium. Now that is important for something, but I don't remember what we needed to use it for off the top of my head. I believe it was required for a quest somewhere. This quest. So alchemical metallurgy. So we made some thaumium. I need to get the theory, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to get the remaining items for our Essentia tubes. So alienus, vinculum, and vidium. So I will figure out things, and I will tell you guys what I used after I do it. So be back in a bit. Alright, so that was not too terrible. Apart from, well, that one. The vidium, aka taint change mutation. The best source I have is netherwort, and I don't really have that many netherwort, so it took a little bit for that one, but we're just going to empty those out. I have a bunch of excess stuff over here, and we should be able to complete that part of this research. So we have some Essentia things, and now we have the capability of making a bunch of Essentia tubes. And basically, we can just, rather than using these alembics to, like, well, rather than using the files, rather, to take stuff out, we could just pipe them to these jars automatically. And these jars, I believe, hold, like, actually, I don't know how much they hold. It doesn't say. There's no tooltips or anything like that. Yeah, we can break them. They'll hold their contents and all that kind of stuff. But we could theoretically have a system where we smelt things up in an array of Essentia smelters, and it gets filtered out using Essentia tubes. Is that what we want to do? Not really. A good way to do that, though, is to use labels. So you put blank labels on these jars, and the labels will say what is in it, and that's the only thing that's allowed to go in it. There is an upgrade to the jars, I do believe, but we can also make void jars, which is pretty easy, just a little bit of Perdicio crystals. And all things considered, like, that is kind of what you're supposed to do. I don't know if we'll end up doing that, because I don't know how much Thaumcraft we're really going to get into. because we're gonna have a infusion setup, probably right around here in this room. And that's why I don't know if this room is big enough. We might have to make it a little bit bigger in all the directions. But we'll have the infusion, and then infusion actually uses these warded jars and the essentia from these. We'll get to that later. So we need to make the filling essentia transfuser and the auxiliary ventilation port. We do not have the research for either of those. We need the advanced essentia, and we need the improved essentia distillation, I believe, is what it said. So advanced essentia transport and improved distillation. So we need the arcane bellows before we can do that. And so there is a lot of things. The thaumium, okay, the thaumium essentia smelter we might be able to look at, because I got the theory that we needed for this, and unless it has more, it doesn't. We have some metallurgy. So there is metal purifications that we could do, but I don't care about that too much. And then Thaumia Essentia Smelter. So we need a theory, and we need a thaumium plate, which is 3 thaumium. We're probably going to do that later, next time. I'll do some research off camera. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to make some liquid death. So liquid death is 100 mortis, 50 perdicio, and 20 alchemia, whatever, however you pronounce things. And then we just use a bucket on it, and everything is good. So how do we get all that? Well, creeper heads and gunpowder. So creeper heads give us 10 mortis each. It gives us a ton of other things, but it also gives us 5 perdicio. So 10 creeper heads is the 100 mortis and 100 perdicio. And then all we need is the alchemica, which, I mean, technically we could just throw in 20 of those. Yeah, that would be awful. So what we're going to do instead, we could throw 10 of these in instead of the gunpowder, actually. And that would save us some space. So let's do that. Alternatively, we could just use files for everything. But, see, that worked. That worked. And liquid death. Cool. Now we get a bunch of quartz silver, slivers. I promise I'm not saying that on purpose like that. I legitimately don't know why I have such an issue saying slivers versus silver when I know it's not silvers. That doesn't make much sense, but I want to say it, and I always end up doing. So let's get rid of all this stuff. Get it all crystallized as much as we can. There is a lot of spiritus in here, but this stuff is useful for research anyways, so might as well. And I don't care that we have we're using a lot of quartz. Quartz is not too difficult for us to acquire, but yeah, so there we go. A bunch of things. We can get rid of a little last bit. And we completed the first quest of the alchemy, which is liquid death. So we're going to get an item magnet, which is meh, whatever. And yeah, at this point, we can scan it. We've learned something new. At this point, we need to do a lot of research, which is not the most fun. But alternatively, we could move on to other things. We do have the plants. You can grow these plants, by the way. They are cool, but meh, don't really need to. These are going to fill up with what we need eventually. And yeah, that'll be good enough for our purposes. So at this point, we need to do a lot of research. We need to kind of continue working with the fundamentals because I do believe one of the quests eventually is going to have us, yeah, working with golems and just in general automatons and whatnot, which is golemancy. We need to get aromancy, which is kind of the magic stuff. So I don't know if we're going to continue with Thaumcraft in the next episode, but we are going to end things off here today. And yeah, we have a lot of things we should probably start working on. I kind of want to get a system to get the loot crate completely automated. Maybe get a... I don't know that we need a couple of these, but just kind of get things together. Maybe put it in the machine room. Have some like maybe miscellaneous things going through there. Or no, that's where we're going to have like this. This is our power room. So that's going to stay that. I don't know. We might figure something out and do a little bit of automation type stuff. We might do a little bit of building next time. Then again, we might go back to Thaumcraft. I don't know. We'll figure things out when the time comes. So that is where we're going to leave off for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!